We live in a world that prizes effort, celebrates ambition, and places hard work on a pedestal. From a young age, we are taught that striving is the pathway to success, happiness, and fulfillment. The more we push, the more we get, or so we're told. But what if the very act of striving is what keeps us from the things we most desire? What if the relentless pursuit of happiness, success, or wealth actually pushes those very things further away? Enter the intriguing and counterintuitive concept known as the backwards law. This philosophy suggests that the more you try to control or grasp something, the more elusive it becomes. When you stop trying so hard, only then does what you want flow naturally toward you. It's a paradox that challenges our most fundamental beliefs about success and fulfillment. Imagine setting a goal to become a successful entrepreneur. You're committed, you're putting in hours of work, and you're constantly striving to get closer to that elusive finish line of success. But as you work harder, you begin to notice something troubling. The harder you push, the more aware you become of how far you are from your goal. The gap between where you are and where you want to be begins to loom large, causing frustration, anxiety, and even self-doubt. The more you focus on the lack, the more it consumes your mental and emotional energy. This is the crux of the backwards law, first described in Eastern philosophies like Taoism and Zen Buddhism, and later popularized in the West by philosophers like Alan Watts. It flips conventional wisdom on its head. Wanting a positive experience too much becomes, in itself, a negative experience. Conversely, accepting negative experiences as part of life can transform them into positive ones. In his book, The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle delves into a similar philosophy, pointing out that our constant craving for a future moment of happiness or success robs us of the present, and ironically, makes happiness even harder to attain. Alan Watts, a British philosopher known for interpreting Eastern thought for a Western audience, often illustrated the backwards law with an analogy, trying to hold on to water. The tighter you grip, the more it slips through your fingers. This is the essence of the law. When you strive too hard, you create resistance. Whether it's wealth, happiness, or love, the more tightly you hold on to the desire, the more you're likely to suffocate it. In modern times, this concept is seen in the relentless pursuit of happiness. People often think that happiness lies in the achievement of specific goals. Get that promotion, buy that dream house, find your soulmate, and they push toward these milestones with laser focus. But what they don't realize is that this very obsession with future achievements creates a sense of inadequacy in the present moment. You're always left feeling like you're lacking something because you haven't yet reached the next milestone. It's this constant striving that leads to the feelings of anxiety, dissatisfaction, and even depression that many people experience today. The wisdom of ancient thinkers like Epicurus perfectly captures this dilemma. If you wish to be rich, do not add to your money, but subtract from your desire. The German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer takes this notion further. He argued that human beings are driven by an irrational, aimless, and insatiable will to live, constantly seeking satisfaction through various external means. In essence, the very act of desiring more leads to perpetual dissatisfaction. According to Schopenhauer, the endless craving for more, be it wealth, status, or pleasure, is what keeps us in a constant state of longing. The more we satisfy one desire, the more new ones pop up in its place, leaving us trapped in an unrelenting cycle of wanting. Schopenhauer believed that the only way to escape this cycle of suffering was to detach from the will altogether. This may sound drastic, but it doesn't mean giving up on life or abandoning all goals. Instead, it's about recognizing that desires will never lead to lasting fulfillment and learning to live without being consumed by them. The backwards law draws on this philosophy, encouraging us to examine our desires and the motivations behind them. When we look inward, we can see that much of our dissatisfaction comes from a place of feeling like we are not enough. The more we seek external validation or success to fill this void, the deeper the emptiness becomes. One of the keys to understanding the backwards law is recognizing the importance of belief and imagination. In a world obsessed with results and outcomes, we tend to overlook the power of belief. If you don't truly believe you can achieve something, no amount of effort will help you succeed. You might outwardly push yourself toward a goal, but internally, you may be sabotaging your own progress. This is why excessive focus on the outcome, whether it's becoming wealthy, finding love, or achieving fame, can be counterproductive. When your conscious mind is fixated on achieving a specific result, but your subconscious mind doesn't believe it's possible, you create internal resistance. Your thoughts and actions become misaligned, leading to frustration and stagnation. This is why many self-help gurus emphasize the power of visualization. But visualization alone is not enough. You must genuinely believe in the possibility of achieving your goal. Napoleon Hill, in his famous book, Think and Grow Rich, emphasized this when he said, "Your subconscious mind works continuously while you are awake and while you sleep." The challenge is to align your desire with your subconscious beliefs. Letting go is not about giving up. It's about releasing the obsessive need to control every outcome and instead aligning yourself with the natural flow of life. When you stop trying to micromanage every aspect of your existence, you create space for intuition and creativity to guide you. Consider the concept of the flow state, a term coined by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi to describe a mental state where you are fully immersed in an activity and everything seems to happen effortlessly. Athletes, musicians, and artists often experience this state when they're performing at their best, seemingly without conscious effort. Interestingly, entering the flow state requires letting go of the conscious desire to perform well. The more you think about the outcome, the more you interfere with the natural process of doing. This is why overthinking can often lead to performance anxiety. The same principle applies to other areas of life. When you stop obsessing over results and allow yourself to be present in the moment, things tend to fall into place. Buddha's wisdom aligns with this as well. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. When we let go of our preoccupation with controlling every outcome, we can focus on what's right in front of us, whether that's a task, a relationship, or simply our own state of being. So, how can we apply the backwards law to our everyday lives? Applying the backwards law to daily life begins with a fundamental shift in mindset. One of the key principles is to stop striving for happiness as though it's a prize to be won. Happiness is not an end goal that can be achieved by sheer willpower or constant effort. Instead, it manifests naturally when you let go of the obsession with attaining it. This doesn't mean you should abandon all ambitions or personal growth, but rather focus more on the process than the outcome. By embracing the present and finding joy in the journey, you allow happiness to arise organically, free from the burden of expectation. This subtle shift leads to greater satisfaction in life as you begin to appreciate the small victories and moments along the way. Another important aspect of applying the backwards law is releasing the need for control. The human instinct to control every aspect of life is a common source of anxiety and frustration. The more you try to bend the world to your will, the more you encounter resistance. Letting go of this need for control is not about giving up, but rather about acknowledging the limits of what you can influence. It allows you to focus on what's within your power, your thoughts, actions, and reactions, while accepting that there are things you cannot change. This creates a sense of peace and freedom, as you no longer feel the constant pressure to dictate outcomes. Aligning your beliefs with your desires is another crucial application of this law. Many people find themselves striving for something they want deeply, yet they never seem to get closer to achieving it. Often, this is because their subconscious beliefs are not aligned with their conscious desires. For example, if you aspire to financial success but carry deep-seated doubts about your ability to achieve wealth, those doubts will undermine your efforts. The backwards law encourages self-examination, pushing you to understand whether you truly believe in your goals or if hidden fears are holding you back. Entering the flow state is a natural extension of this principle. When you stop obsessing over the results and let go of rigid expectations, you allow yourself to become fully immersed in whatever you are doing. This applies not just to work, but also to personal relationships and creative pursuits. The flow state is that magical place where everything feels effortless, where time seems to dissolve, and you operate at your peak without forcing it. By relinquishing control and trusting the process, you create the ideal conditions for this state to emerge, enhancing both performance and enjoyment. Finally, living in the present is perhaps the most profound way to incorporate the backwards law into your life. Constantly fixating on the future, whether through worry or ambition, keeps you from experiencing the richness of the moment. When you focus on what is happening right now, you not only deepen your awareness, but also foster stronger connections with others and improve your overall well-being. Life becomes fuller, more vibrant, and infinitely more rewarding when you allow yourself to fully inhabit each moment instead of constantly projecting your mind forward to an uncertain future. The backwards law is a paradoxical concept, yet one that holds profound truth. In a world where we're taught to chase after everything we want, it reminds us that sometimes the best way to achieve our desires is by letting go of the need to control them. By releasing our grip on the outcome, we create space for what we truly want to come into our lives naturally. This isn't about giving up, it's about finding balance, living in the present, and trusting the process. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely said, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. The more we learn to let go, the closer we come to experiencing the joy, success, and fulfillment we've been chasing all along.